Hello guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. Today we're taking a look at this absolutely gorgeous 2020 BMW i3S provided by Cotswold BMW Hereford. So this is essentially BMW's sporty version of their electric i3 hatchback. It starts from £38,500 and it's got a few little upgrades to make it that sportier version, which we'll go into now. So this one runs an extra 14 horsepower, so it's 184 brake horsepower. Gives it a 0 to 60 time of 6.9 seconds and a max speed of 99 miles per hour. This car has been provided by Cotswold BMW, so make sure you check them out and thank them for allowing us to see this car. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take it out for a test drive. I'm going to put you POV so you guys can see what this thing is like to drive. We're going to talk you through the exterior as well as the interior so you guys can really get a good look at this car. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay then guys, as you can see, it is very windy out here today. We're right in the middle of Storm Cara, which made filming this car quite difficult. Fortunately, we didn't struggle too much with the sound quality because I'm voicing it over anyway. But yeah, so the BMW i3 was sort of BMW's first entry in the electric vehicle market. I think it started in 2014 and then was released with the BMW i8 and now has been re-released as the i3S just to create a bit more sportiness. In terms of its looks, it's very polarizing. There are quite a few bad reviews but then quite a few good reviews on this looks, so it's definitely a polarizing looking car. It boasts BMW's carbon core, which is a monocoque chassis made purely of carbon fibre. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it out on the roads, test how that chassis handles with the lowered sport suspension of the i3S, and show you guys what this car is capable of. This video was made possible by Cotswold BMW Hereford, the premier dealership for BMW and Mini within Herefordshire region. Big thanks to these guys. We've used them for years now on our own personal vehicles, and we've had fantastic service every time. So if you're looking for a new or used BMW or Mini, make sure you check out these guys to find the best deal. Okay guys, so here we are inside the car. What we're going to do is we're going to take it on a quick test drive. So we're going to turn the car on. Using this button here with the foot on the brake, put it into drive with a little rotary dial here, and there we are, we're away. And the first thing that immediately strikes you is just how quiet this car is. It takes a bit of getting used to, especially because it's got regenerative braking as well, which is something I've never experienced in a car, so we're gonna be learning together. But as you can see here with this information on the dash, we have a sort of power meter and a charge meter, and this is sort of the only way I can get to drive smooth is by looking at this dashboard, because essentially you need to keep your foot on the accelerator the whole time, even if you don't want to accelerate, if that makes any sense whatsoever, because you also modulate the regenerative braking via the accelerator as well. So yeah. Another thing that immediately strikes you about this car is the sheer instant torque. If we try and put it into sport mode here, and you can instantly feel it straight away. And now if we put our foot down, it is, yeah, speed builds pretty quickly, as you can see. So it's quite addictive actually. You find yourself doing it a bit too much. And the range, as you can see, we've got 34 miles. And I'm scared to put any sort of air conditioning or radio on, just because as soon as you put the actually I'll show you, if you put the air conditioning on, how do I do that? Never mind, we'll forget the air conditioner, here, and have it on a bit. As you can see, the range has just dropped 6 miles, so we'll turn that off again, and hopefully, there we go, 33 miles again, it's just down here. So yeah, but we're going to take it out on this A road here. It's 50 for now, and then I'm going to take you to a nice little location so we can get a few beauty shots, as it were, on this car. But yeah, impressions overall, once I've got the driving seat and everything sorted, it's quite nice and easy to drive. I had to drop it down quite low because you do sit quite up in this car, you sort of sit on it rather than in it. But now that that's all sort of arranged, it's really nice. As you can see, we've got the sort of open plan dashboard here with sort of waves and everything, which is quite a nice little addition. It makes it feel futuristic. Visibility in this car is insane. It's pretty much glass all over, so it definitely is easy to drive and see where you're going. We've also got this massive windscreen here as well, which is sort of, it's almost like a panoramic windscreen, it seems. We've got quite a lot of dashboard space, which takes a bit of getting used to. As you can see now, that I'll take my foot off the accelerator and the brake and we're still slowing down. And you can actually slow down almost to a stop with this. And then what we'll do now is we'll put our foot flat to the floor, and there we go. Launch away up to 50, and there we are. It's it's the electric power. So I think 0 to 60, this car is just about 7 seconds. Because it's the i3S, it's slightly quicker than the other car, which is the standard i3. We've also got slightly lowered stiffened suspension, so it does handle quite well, which we're going to test out in a minute. And yeah, with that instant torque as well, it makes it quite a fun little proposition for driving around on these A roads. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the interior. It's quite an interesting one. You can get them with eucalyptus dashboards as well, where this silver tungsten sort of colour is, which is interesting. I actually think it's quite nice, and it sort of feels nice as well, which is a bit odd. But everywhere, like these door cards here, is all actually recycled plastic as well. I think this car's, I'm not sure the total percentage of this car, but it's massively recycled. So it's sort of good for the environment in terms of the its emissions, but it's also good for the environment because a lot of it's actually recycled plastics and materials used inside the car, which, yeah, every little helps, doesn't it? In terms of running this car, it's pretty cheap, so you're essentially paying for your electricity that you use, and you can plug it in anywhere. In Herefordshire, where we are now, we actually have free charging, so to run this car in Herefordshire would cost you pretty much nothing apart from your little maintenance items, etc. If you were to charge it at home, you obviously have to pay your electricity rate, and I'm not sure how much that would be to run this particular car, but yeah, it's, as a proposition, they're a very, very cheap car to run. This car, after options, comes to £41,000. However, with the £5,000 government grant, that's reduced down to £36,000, which sort of softens the blow somewhat. And the thing is, with Cotswold BMW do some pretty good deals on these anyway, in terms of monthly payments, etc. So they'll be able to find you a way of getting into one if you really wanted to. But yeah, we're just gonna come down. Forgive me for the sun. We're just sort of in the eye of Storm Kira, so it's all got sunny and weird all of a sudden. And we'll give the windscreen a wash as well. But like I said, it's the initial confusing part of it is getting used to how the sort of one pedal driving works. I've had my girlfriend driving this as well. She said the same. It's a very odd, disconcerting experience to start off with when you first get in the car. It's quite it's a very novel experience, especially coming from the Volvo. Don't get me wrong, that's an automatic, so it sort of does behave in a similar way, but the fact that you get the regenerative braking made it quite difficult, I found, to actually determine how much you needed to let off, and it was quite big pothole there. It's quite jerky initially. Once you get used to it though, like I have, it sort of makes it a bit less jerky, which is always good. And actually, over the bumps and stuff, despite having the stiffer suspension, this car really does handle it quite well. It's quite BMW in the way that it's sort of quite smooth and fluid over the bumps. And as you can see, taking it down this little country road, it has no issues whatsoever. And it's just silent as well, which is just, it's bizarre. In terms of the looks, it's quite polarizing, I think. A lot of people just stare at you when you're driving it, and a lot of people, I think, don't actually like the way this car looks, just because it's quite forward-thinking and odd, so it's not really the norm. I haven't seen any other car like it while driving this, so again, that's it's a nice little thing to have, is that you sort of a niche little group on the road. Actually, there's one ahead, just as I'm saying that. But yeah, no, it's quite a nice, easy to drive car once you get used to it. And we've got temporary traffic lights here, so this might be quite a boring part of the video. Actually, we'll spin around here. We'll do a little turn, because otherwise we'll be sat in there for ages. And as you can see, the turning circle on this car is really effective, and you can just fire out of any sort of junction or turning. It's just, yeah, it's really easy to drive. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the looks, because I personally are quite a big fan, especially in the spec, because it's got the bigger wheels, the slightly lower suspension. It just makes it look more aggressive, which is always nice, I think, especially in this black. You can get it in blue and white as well, but I think this black is going to be your best option if you're looking for sort of a sporty looking car. The i3 standard car is slightly cheaper because obviously it hasn't got the sportiness, so if you're looking for a slightly cheaper way of getting into one of these cars, then that's going to be sort of your way to do it. They're also coming up on the used markets now as well, which makes them relatively affordable. BMW Hereford actually have a few for sale for sub £20,000 now, which is quite an interesting proposition, especially because you can get finance deals on those as well, and Matt and the guys always sort of find you the best deal possible. But as you can see, they're up to 60 from the 40, just it's like effortless. And driving through these bends, it feels like a BMW should. It's quite fun to drive through the bends. I think that makes a difference with this stiffer suspension. And yeah, you can literally just sort of, even at 60 now, I could put my foot down and pretty much overtake anything. So it's a nice little, it's almost like a go-kart, an electric go-kart. It's just fun to drive, and you get a feeling, like I said, that you can overtake anything when you're driving it. We've got cruise control and stuff on here as well. In terms of the options, we've got cruise control, we've got the Harman Kardon sound system as well, which by all accounts sounds absolutely fantastic. I haven't actually listened to it yet. All I've heard is sort of radio crackle on the radio. But yeah, no, it's a nice place to be, this car. In terms of rear space, it's a bit interesting, especially as the rear doors open sort of the opposite way to most, like suicide doors, which is a bit odd, and you can't open the two doors separately. You have to, I'm gonna have to turn the aircon on here. You sort of have to have the front door open first before you can open the rear door, which is a bit interesting. Takes a bit of getting used to, especially when you think about trying to shut them again. You have to remember which order they have to go in. But yeah, in terms of space in the back, we've had one person in the back, well, two people actually, and they've both said that there is decent leg room and decent height, sort of headroom, but actually you wouldn't really want to be, as a full-grown adult, riding in the back of this car too often. But yeah, out the 40 there, just slingshots you out straight up to national speed limit. And yeah, a lot of these electric cars have had to have a lot of design around the wind noise, and that's sort of the only thing you can hear. You can't really hear any tyre noise. Wind noise is sort of on par with a standard car, except you'd have the engine noise as well. I'm sure if you've got music on, you probably wouldn't even notice it. It's just the fact that we're driving along without any music on. But yeah, it's a really nice little car to drive once you get used to it. So yeah, what we'll do, we're a bit out of our little destination here, but what we'll do is we'll cut straight to the destination, and we'll give you sort of a good tour around the inside of the car to show you guys what it's like to be in. So yeah. Okay then guys, here we are inside the i3S, and as you can see, like I said in the POV bit, it's a lovely place to be. We've got this lovely blue rimmed steering wheel. This blue colour is sort of BMW's I colour, much like Skoda have the green for the VRS. This is your BMW I colour, and that's because in Germany and sort of Europe in general, Eco, essentially the colour for Eco is blue rather than green like we have in the UK, and that's obvious. Like if you talk about Mercedes, they do blue efficiency, blue tech, AdBlue. That's all because it's eco-friendly in Europe. So it's just a little interesting bit of information for you here. But yeah, as you can see here, we've got a nice floating screen with just an arm in the back. It's got BMW's latest iDrive system on it, which you control by scrolling through here. And also we've got our little Coke can, not a sponsored video. So yeah, as you can see, we scroll through here. We've got the navigation, and these navigations are really nice. Just to have a look, it's just a really excellent system. You can zoom right in or you can zoom right out as well, so that's nice and easy. Actually, we can probably zoom out to the entire world, which I don't know why anyone would. Oh no, yeah, there we go. I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but you can. Air conditioning, this has also got, sorry, it's got air conditioning. All the controls are here, sort of in this control panel. We've also got heated seats in this car, which is quite nice. Moving on to sort of the steering wheel, we've got our cruise control controls there, and our stereo infotainment system controls. And then just behind here, we have our gear selector thing. As you can see, we don't have anything like that down here. It's all done here. So the start-stop button, just press that with your foot on the brake to start the car. And that's the car coming alive. I don't know why it's beep. Oh, it's telling me off for not having a seatbelt, so I'm going to turn that off. And then here we have your little drive selector mode. So you literally rock it once for drive or reverse like so, and then your park button is located on the top here, which is quite a cool little thing. It takes a bit of getting used to, because in my Volvo, especially with the automatic gearbox, because it's sort of like an automatic, you expect it to be down here, but it's not. So yeah, in terms of cup holders, we've got two cup holders here, which as you can see holds a Coke can. This one sort of looks like it's stuck on as a bit of an afterthought, but I think it might be because it's an option. As you can see, the floor here has the i3S lot of Monaco on it, but there's nothing here. Look, my foot can freely travel between compartments, so that's quite an interesting little feature. These seats, as you can see, they're very narrow. They're quite comfy, but they're made out of recycled materials, which again is sort of part of this BMW recycledness. As is the material here. That's all recycled plastic. We've got our little information display. I get my words out. And as you can see, this car has done 966 miles. It is literally brand new. And then here we have our display. So the two displays themselves are fairly close together, which makes life easier. In terms of in-car storage, we have a nice cubby down in the centre here, where you have your auxiliary ports. Sorry, is that? No, it's a USB and a 12-volt charging slots. We've got a handbrake control here. We then have this adjustable armrest with another bit of storage underneath. This thing, this is our price list. I'll go through that now. I think it's a glove box, but it's in the top, so it's sort of like a glove top box, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But that's quite a nice little bit. Door bins as well, are nice and roomy. We've got the GoPro in there, so that's sort of an idea for size. And if we take a look now at the list, so this is Matt's details, and this is the BMW's details. So if you're looking for one of these cars, definitely get in touch with Matt here, because he is sort of your expert, your go-to chap, as it were. This car here has a few different nice options as well. We've got our i3 Plus package, the 20-inch BMW wheels, sun protection, Harman Kardon as well, where they are here. The system is a very nice system actually, in terms of sound quality. There we go, nice and focused. That's quite a nice little system as well. So that's all included on this car. We've also got, the cup holder is an option, like I said. We've also got the various other bits here for a total on the road price of £36,000 after the grant. So that is pretty much, well, it's a good deal. To put it bluntly, they do sort you out here at Cotswold. But yeah, so that's sort of an interior tour. We'll just have a quick look in the back. Nothing to really see here. Obviously, we've got the suicide rear doors that I spoke about earlier. But yeah, that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on the video. Let me know what you think of this car. A big thank you has to go out to Cotswold BMW, as you can see we're here now, for lending me the vehicle and allowing me to film this video. I'm going to stick a link in the description for all their details and their Instagrams and social medias and everything like that. But yeah, from me, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Cheers.